West Main Street. On in 20 West Main Street. I wanted to just kind of comment on the whole discussion around the schools and the mayor's meetings and all that sort of thing. So, I mean, I've not admittedly gone to every single meeting, especially in the last few weeks, but I'm not aware of a single resolution from this committee directing the mayor on what action to take when he went to the mayor's meeting. I know there was a presentation some time ago, but I don't recall seeing in the minutes a discussion of how the committee wanted to move forward, what the strategy was going to be, what positions you wanted to take. And I don't recall seeing a vote of that saying, Mr. Mayor, this is how you should represent this town at that meeting. Did that actually happen, and did I just miss it? Or?
It never happened.
It really is an official business.
Sorry?
There was no official business that was being conducted.
But you represented Mendham Township at a meeting of other mayors. That's official business.
Right. And I said, if you saw the presentation I made at 2 meetings ago, I said I had no authority to act on behalf of the township.
Well, I don't understand. Then what action is the committee taking to address the issue of the school funding formula?
I believe I outlined tonight that I propose a plan to inform the public on the 2 alternatives that we are most likely to follow. And I'll present that plan in the ensuing weeks.
But wouldn't that be a plan that the committee needs to publicly discuss and vote on?
That we're going to have a discussion in the community?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a committee form of government. It's not just your plan, it's all of your plan.
No, the plan is to hear from people in the community, not to hear us. It's to hear from you.
So then you would tell us some ideas, and then we would tell you. I don't understand. Why don't we just do that at a committee meeting? We're here.
Are you an expert on any of those subjects?
I'm an expert taxpayer.
Okay, that's fine. We'd like your input.
Every quarter.
That's good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And by the way, I still stand by my position that we should just not pay the bill. Right? I've said that 3 times, and it would work. I really believe that this is a discussion for the 5 of you to have from the dais with us, you know, and say this is what our plan is, this is what we want to do. If you want to have an open public meeting before a meeting where you vote and say this is how we want to move forward. That's the committee form of government, in my view, is the way we should move forward with it. Thank you.
Pat Hayden, 8 Carroll Drive. I have a concern, and my major concern is something that was in the paper. Where do the Citizens for Better Schools fit with the Township Committee? Because I personally do not understand. Someone else asked this question this evening, and when I read the paper, that was the first thing that popped in my mind. Why would you take a non-elected official to a meeting of elected officials? And plus, why would it be this particular non-elected official that you would take, or person? He's not even official. The Citizens for Better Schools, I'm not quite sure exactly what they are advocating. It started out that they were advocating for funding change, but now we've seemed to have warped into deregionalization of the high school district and then re-regionalization of our school districts, which funding and deregionalization are 2 separate animals. And I just want to know, are we going along with whatever Citizens for the Better Schools said? Because they were formed like last year. No one's voted on backing this group. And to me, that's the thing that's most disconcerting to me when I read the article in the paper. And I know you don't want to go point by point, but that I think is something that seriously has to be addressed because of, the word has been put out tonight quite a few times, perception. And that's a serious perception or misconception, whichever way you want to put it.
We'll get any comments from anybody.
But I made no comment, Brian.
That's good.
Thank you.
You want me to comment then?
Tim Tinson, East Main Street. couple of things. Taking Robert Mariano to that meeting doesn't seem to be the problem. In the August 25th article in the Observer Tribune, it said, Robert Marino said, Bill Cogger got very upset. At one point he turned to me and said he had no problem with me, that's Marino, with me being there, but that he had a problem with him and pointed to Frank. It was not having a lawyer there. This is, as you said, a personal thing. The second thing, about a year ago, over a year ago, I was leading a meeting in Mendham and struck up a conversation with somebody as we were walking out to the parking lot. And he said he was a member of their governing body. And he offered the observation that shared services will go nowhere as long as we had the same township committee that we had 3 years ago. Now, once again, outside forces are trying to affect how we run our business. And I think it's extreme arrogance. And we should go ahead and we should send people to the meeting that we want at the meeting, not that they want. Thanks.
Thank you.
Rick Blood, 32 Tingley Road. This is a procedural question for the township attorney. When the mayor makes a statement that they've had this collective group and he's decided that he's not going to participate anymore and he's going to hold another meeting, should have there been a discussion before he could make a statement like that? I'm assuming he's making the statement not as the mayor because he didn't get a 3-2 vote to go ahead with this new direction to abandon this group that had been, I don't know if it was silently approved in the past or not, but now he has a direction change. Are there discussions taking place that are not in the public eye? Is this a sunshine issue?
Well, firstly, there have been absolutely no discussions on the issue that have taken place other than out here in the public session because the issues at hand are not properly the subject of any closed session items. So those discussions have taken place through the very lengthy presentation that the mayor put in place when we last met, or 2 meetings ago. Mr. Strobel put in a very lengthy presentation. I will say that perhaps the mayor's position on behalf of the municipality is taken more by acclamation than by direct action of this committee. I think we're about to remedy that when the 2 proposals the mayor spoke about will be generated and then spread out for public consumption, including amongst the committee members here. So I'm not quite sure, Mr. Blood, exactly what the provenance was of this mayor's meeting. It seems to have been somewhat informally constituted, and as Mayor Cioccolatini indicated, it wasn't an official function of either the regional school district itself or, for that matter, perhaps the constituent municipalities. And maybe that's the fault of all 5 municipalities. And it was a lack of direction.
And Mr. Blood, I never said I was abandoning anything.
Well, I got the impression from your statement tonight that you weren't intending to meet with them. They weren't playing with you, so you were going to provide information to Mendham Township on the 2 avenues that are available concerning this issue.
Which is what the mayor's asked me to do. I never said I was abandoning any meetings, and I'll make that statement public, and it'll appear in the minutes, and I will send a copy also to the other mayors and to the newspaper. I never said I was abandoning anything. So I was doing what they asked me to do. If you recall what I said.
Well, I recall that they asked you to
You
come to a
have
meeting.
their article. They
Yes.
asked me to put forward a plan.
That was their intent at the meeting,
Now,
before it was
I
abruptly adjourned.
I never heard that from the mayors,
Okay.
but they put it in writing, and I'm going to do what they asked me to do. But I never said I was abandoning any meetings.
It just didn't appear to me, sitting in the back row, that you were looking forward to the next meeting with the 4 mayors.
I don't even know when the next meeting is, but I never said I was abandoning any meetings. As a matter of fact, I said in the newspaper that I plan to participate.
Okay, does the township plan to participate? Because, again, there has been no new business discussion on this article that you put some time in and came up with a, very thoughtful rebuttal, but the other four members of the committee had nothing to say about this, and I would have thought it would have been a new business discussion to get some input from your fellow committee members.
Okay, and I think this, our attorney has said, do the other mayors have their town's approval to do what they did?
I haven't attended their meetings. I'm going to assume that in the committee form of government, you get direction from your fellow members in public.
I think that is the mayor's goal for the next meeting. We get the input, he gets the input on a clear basis from the 5 committee folks, himself included, of course, and from the public, but it needs to be focused discussion to be of any value, so the 2 concepts will be developed, and then the public can weigh in on the direction it wishes to take.
And we'll be looking forward to the committee to weigh in on.
Interaction. No, I believe your point is well taken. There has not been a lot of, as I called it earlier, kind of direction by acclamation. There hasn't been a lot of direct activity by the committee members. I'm sure from what we've heard tonight that the next meeting will be a different story in that regard.
Because it just seems like there's something going on behind the scenes for decisions to be made, direction, tax to be taken, and it just doesn't seem like the mayor's getting clear direction from the other 3.
As the gatekeeper, I can assure you that nothing was discussed in closed session concerning the issue.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't.
And I think that we'll take care of the public portion of that at the next meeting, and hopefully the whole 5 constituent districts matter will be moved to a more formalized public elevation, shall we say, because my sense of this mayoral meeting was that it's just something that came about without any real structure, which is often what leads to trouble.
I think they had a moderator, so somebody structured it. I understand the mayor didn't agree with the structure, but then I can understand why.
Looking at the meeting with the county superintendent of schools.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Robert Zimmerman, 3 West Main Street, Brookside. Perhaps the mayor answered this already, but a lot of people have already mentioned the big problem here, I think, is one of perception, and you have responded well to an article that appeared in the newspaper. Is it your plan to submit the response you delivered to us tonight to the newspaper to respond to that perception publicly? It is. Thank you.
Good.
Nick Monahan, 20 West Main Street. So I wonder 2 other points. Regarding Mr. Zimmerman's point that you were going to respond to, in writing, is that the response as you as an individual or you as the mayor part of the committee?
It's my response.
So Frank Chopatins.
My name on it.
The other question is, and both to yourself and to the whole committee, is, one of the things that came out of that letter from the other 4 mayors was that they had requested that the township name another person to represent it. And I haven't had any heard of discussion about that, and I don't know if anybody wants to say, you know what, we're 4 square behind the mayor, this is the way we want to move forward, or how do you all as a group want to respond to that request by the other mayors?
I can answer.
Great.
Can we get an answer to that?
I had suggested Mr. Collins become our representative.
Seeing no one else from the public who wishes to be heard, we are going to move into executive session. I expect executive session to last no more than 15 minutes.
I don't think.